wondering what are the questions that maybe we still don't have answers yet in regards to flow research?
Yeah, so I think one of there's a couple of really exciting areas that I'm interested in. One is obviously continuing to like develop empirically based interventions. There's really not that many that have actually been tested, so that's exciting. There's a bunch out there that I won't kind of give away, right now, but that there's still some low hanging fruit there for some studies that could be done to say like, does this actually work to help foster flow or not? I also think there's a lot of work to be done in the team space. So, like group flow and team flow are areas that are really understudied because they're hard to study. Like, what the question of like what is group flow or what is team flow? Like, if we're a group of 10 people, is group flow just the idea that like all 10 of us are in flow together? What's that threshold? Is it two of us out of 10 people, three, five, some in all 10? What constitutes that group flow? Is it just each of us individually being in flow, or is there a higher order sort of like synthesize, like as a musician, like being in flow with my bandmates is something that I've experienced so much. And like, it's a different thing than being, that I've experienced too, in startups where like I'm doing one task, somebody else is doing another task, and we're all in flow at the same time, but not together. That makes sense. So it's like less interdependent. So I think that's like a theory and practice area that is very understudied and sort of related, but a little bit different, is the idea of flow contagion. So there's this idea of emotional contagion where like if I come into work and I'm really depressed or just having a hard day and just like acting like, oh, I'm like, I don't feel like being here today, then my emotions will actually be contagious and the people around me will feel that as well. And like the whole group kind of suffers because of that. Or the opposite can be true, where I come in, I'm really positive, I'm excited to be here, and some people might be feeling less excited. And because they see how excited I am, they kind of catch that emotion from me too, right? So that's this idea of emotional contagion. I've read a couple of studies that look at flow contagions, and this is the idea. I remember there's one, I forget who the author was, but they looked at actually teachers and in the classroom, and the idea, if I'm remembering the findings correctly, was that when a teacher who's teaching a class is in flow while teaching, their students are more likely to also be in flow. So there's this idea that basically flow can be contagious, and that if you witness people in flow, or you're experiencing flow with somebody else, then like you're also more likely to feel that. So that I think ties into this idea of group flow and team flow, but I think that's an exciting area that's like really understudied that could be really powerful to look into as well.
I absolutely I find that so fascinating, and I think maybe you're promoting people to come to see your live performances here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Come to New York. Hopefully I'll be performing against you. And absolutely.
So who else would be those kind of exemplars of flow, right? So if we wanted to surround ourselves with, you know, with flow to maybe catch it, so to speak here. I often think about going to kind of art galleries or museums, live shows, sporting events. Yeah, where else would you want to kind of put yourself in to catch that flow? And yeah, other ways or any ideas about how to kind of bring that into the workplace in some ways? Yeah, how to promote that.
Yeah, I mean, I think finding mentors, right, or people who you see are doing good, great work, and maybe you can see are passionate about their work, and really put their whole selves into it. I think that it's likely that those people are in flow more, right? That they are putting their whole selves into the moment, into their work, um, and being part of that, right? Trying to have mentors that do that. I think it could be really powerful. I mean, it's just interesting because this idea of like mentorship and finding people, there's a lot of positive things to be associated with people like that, that has nothing to do with flow, but it's just because probably that hasn't been explored as much, and actually has a lot to do with flow, right? That um, surrounding yourself with positive people who have skills that you want to learn, right? They probably help to sort of provide scaffolding when we think about like the zone of proximal development and some of that like developmental psychology stuff. Mentors help you to build your skills and to get yourself in a place where that challenge skill balance is again a little bit more in balance for yourself. So I think that's probably a big one, just finding mentors, right? And yeah, I kind of similarly, I think, and similar idea to flow contagion is like spillover, right? So if you find flow in extreme sports or skiing or in going to performances, like does that lead to more flow at work as well? And maybe just the experience of uh, feeling flow more often helps you to get into it more on demand and in other areas too. So just try to get into it as much as you can and in as many different areas as you can, while also maintaining that balance that we've kind of been talking about this whole time with being more mindful and making sure to give yourself time to recharge as well.